Here I am, Stephen, here at the School of Sacred Drumming, and we're doing a practical video here on how to make smudge sticks. It's very straightforward, very simple. We're going to do it properly. We're going to do it as if we're being grateful for the herbs that we're using, and it makes a difference. So straightforward. I'm going to light a candle, which is nice to have a bit of elemental fire. Take a little bit of smudge here. Not too much, you don't need a lot. This is Artemisia, mostly Artemisia. And you get nice smoke, and I smudge myself. And I smudge my scissors, because that's the main tool I'll use. And the cotton, use cotton, don't use a synthetic string, use cotton. And I smudge the herbs I use. And I smudge myself, I make sure that I'm clear. And I smudge my tool area. And then I say thank you to the powers of the earth below me for giving me these beautiful herbs. I say thank you to the sky above me for giving me the space around me and giving me the breath, each breath I have. And I say thank you to the power of the south, which brings in healing and children and the love of my life, the people in my life, my community. I say thank you to the power of the west for the waters of life and for my ancestors. And I say thank you to the north for the mystery and the energy of me needing to learn all the time, and the new beginnings from the east, and myself in the center of all of this. Now, so we're going to do this as I do it every year. I do this, I take some cotton, and I found the length that works really well is the length going from my fingers, here I'll show you, from my fingers through to my elbow, and then I take a snip. And there we are, put that aside so it doesn't get caught up. Put the scissors over there. Good. Now I take 3 of these stalks of Artemisia. I put them together like this. Oh, there's a third one there already. So I've got 3 stalks of Artemisia. And I put them in this hand here, and I take my piece of string and I put 2 loops at the bottom. And this makes what's called a clove hitch. There we are. It doesn't need to be too tight. You know, the odd bit of string at the end there doesn't need, it's good to have an odd bit of string there. So I'm not going to make that too tight there. And then I fold this into three pieces. So there, I'll fold that down there. And this is the wet herb, so it's just been picked. And as I pick it, I say thank you to the herb, because she's very generous. And then I leave it open, and I take a few pieces of this lavender, and I put the lavender in. I'll take three or 4 pieces of lavender, put it in, and take 3, I like working with 3, I'm a 3 person, and I take 3 leaves of sage and I put that in. These are all damp herbs, and that means that as it dries, it will all lock in. The herbs will all lock in. So there we are, I've got that now as a bunch. And then I take this piece of cotton and I wind it up. to the top. And I wind it up, and I wind it up. And then, because it's folded over, I can lock it around, and then I come back down the opposite way. Just get those leaves in, get as many leaves in as I can. And I will take it down and take it down. So make sure, there we are. There we are, take it down, take it down, take it down. Take it down to the bottom. And I've got about that much more cotton at the bottom. And I do this half hitch again at the bottom, or clove hitch, that's what it's really called, a clove hitch, which is just two simple loops going the same way. I put that there. I find each smudge stick takes about 3 minutes, I would say, to make. And then there we are. And I've got that little piece of cotton there. And I've got that little piece of cotton there. And do the other one over top. There we are. I'm always learning. And then I do just a little knot there so that that goes in there so I can hang it up to dry. There we are. And there's my first smudge stick. Now what I do at this stage is I just cut off the excess leaves, because later on when it dries, it's better that when it's used for smudge, as a smudge stick, these odd leaves don't burn furniture or burn things. So I just cut those off there. And there I have my smudge stick all ready to hang up and dry. And it's very nice. You can hang them up in the house, in a place sort of high up in the house. And for the first 4 or 5 days, there's the most beautiful smell. It's got the most gorgeous, deep, warm smell. So there we are. And so that's making a smudge stick. These these end pieces will then will be dried off. They go back in the basket, and later they will go into making a loose smudge mix like this one here. So nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. It's dried and used again. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing you again when we do our next project. All the very best.